Question 1. The traditional approach to user and group management in Linux systems requires a balance between least privilege and operational flexibility. Istadas, a junior system administrator, is configuring user permissions for a multi-departmental system. One user, Sandra, needs to access files across two groups but should not inherit the primary group privileges persistently for security reasons. Which configuration approach best satisfies this requirement? A. Add Sandra to the secondary group using usermod. G. And maintain her primary group as default. B. Change her primary group permanently to the one she accesses most. C. UE or Petit change group ownership of files to Sandra's username. D. Apply the sticky bit to all directories Sandra accesses. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Sandra's need to access multiple group files without changing her primary group aligns with using secondary group memberships usermod. G. This provides non-persistent access without granting unnecessary rights by default, changing the primary group. B. Alters a default access level and can violate least privilege. E. Up. C. Changes file group ownership, not user group. Sticky bits. D. Prevent deletion, not group access. Question 2. In the context of encryption and secure communication, a startup deploying Linux-based web servers is trying to meet best practices for data-in-transit protection. The system admin Amina configures SSH protocols but also needs to ensure data confidentiality between backup servers transferring archives. Which tool or protocol is most appropriate? HTTP with basic auth. B. FTP using passive mode. C. SCPO SSH. D. Telnet with log and banner. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. SCP Secure Copy Protocol operates over SSH, providing encryption, confidentiality, and integrity for file transfers. Core requirement for data in transit, secure HE and ATP. B. Are not encrypted by default, exposing credentials and data. Telnet. D. Transmits everything in plain text and is deprecated. Relevant concept. Linux Essentials for v.5. Understanding secure transfer protocols like SE SSH. Question 3. Considering the evidence, a company is reviewing its use of different types of software licenses. As part of a compliance audit, system engineer is new and notices the organization uses a library under the GNU General Public License (GPL), a proprietary software product. What are the implications? A. The company must open source its entire proprietary code base. B. The GPL licensed library must be removed entirely. C. The source code of the proprietary product must be disclosed only if distributed. D. No action is needed since the use is internal. Answer. Correct answer. C. The explanation. GPL requires derivative works to be open sourced only upon distribution. If the software isn't shared externally, no disclosure is required. D is incorrect. GPL does not require opening the entire code base, say only derivative components. Removing the library. B is unnecessary unless distribution violates compliance. Relevant law GPE revisions on derivative works and redistribution apply under Linux Essentials. Question 4. From multiple perspectives, archiving and compressing files are essential in Linux system maintenance. If Lopez is tasked with backing up web server logs and minimizing storage use, which command should she use? The tar cf logs, tar varlot b, tar eclogs, tar gz varlot d, gzip arlot d zip, rlogs zip varlot. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Tar ECF is gzip compression with tar producing a compressed archive suited for backups. Option A creates an archive without compression. Option C incorrectly applies gzip to a directory, which fails. Option D works but is less preferred in Linux systems compared to targzip. Question 5. To illustrate this point, Istachan is creating a simple shell script that processes log files daily. The script must check if varlog syslog exists and only then copy it to backup. Which of the following script lines should he use? A. If A. varlog syslog, then cp varlog syslog backup. B. If varlog syslog exists, then cp at backup. C. Check volgzl org syslog backup. D. If ls varlog syslog or copy varlog syslog to backup. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation: the file path test checks for existence and the then block executes upon true. Options B, C, and D either syntactically incorrect or not valid bash constructs. Question 6. The foundation of Linux process management is understanding foreground background tasks. Is O'Reilly starts resource heavy job and wants to keep it running after she logs off. Which approach should she use? A. Use kill to stop the process first. B. Prefix the command with sudo. C. Use nohup and append to the command. D. Use control plus Z to send it to the background. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Nohup command and detaches the process from the terminal and prevents it from being killed after logout. Control plus C. D. Pauses, not detaches. Sudo. B. Gives privilege but not persistence. Kill A. Stops the process. Related topic. Linux Essentials v.5 process control includes nohup, job control, and backgrounding. Question 7. Through the lens of network security basics, Jordan is setting up a firewall on a Linux server to restrict inbound access to port 22 but allow outbound web traffic. Which command combination is most appropriate? A. Itables in ETCP, dport 80. J drop B itables output ETCP, dport 443. J accept C, itables input ETCP, dport 22. J drop and itables output ETCP, dport 80. J accept D, itables are forward. J accept. Answer. Correct answer. C explanation. C properly blocks SH, port 22, and allow HTTP outbound. A blocks web access. B allows ITs but doesn't handle SSH restrictions. D affects packet forwarding, not input-output filtering. Relevant concept. Linux firewall basics with itables, part of Linux Essentials v.5. Question 8. In response to understanding file permissions, Sophia creates a script file but finds it won't execute. The file exists and contains correct code. What must she do next? A. Use chmod plus x script sh. B. Use cat script sh. C. As rm crypt sh. D. Use mv crypt sh bin. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Scripts need the executable permission plus x to run. Viewing it. B. Won't allow execution. Deleting C or moving D without permissions won't help. Linux Essentials for v.5. File permission knowledge including execute X flags is critical. Question 9. During the process of viewing file contents, Emily wants to examine a 10 GB log file without opening it entirely. Which tool is best? A. Roman. Yeah. Cat C. Tell. FD C. Answer. Correct answer. C explanation. Tell. F reads the end of a file. Dynamic is suited for large logs. Cat B loads entire content into memory. Roman say might crash or hang. CP. D copies files, not views them. Linux Essentials for v.5. Text viewing commands like tail, less, and header essential. Question 10. Under the assumption that a device is properly connected but the user cannot access it under dev, which Linux component is likely not functioning? A. The kernel. B. The UDEV device manager. C. The cron daemon. D. The grub bootloader. Answer. Correct answer. B explanation. UDEV dynamically manages dev device files. If the device exists but no dev entry appears, UDEV is likely failing. Kernel A would not boot the system. Cron C handles scheduling. Grub D is for booting only. Linux Essentials v.5 topic, working with devices and dev. Question 11. While examining the system boot process, Pierre notices that a server isn't reaching the login prompt. He verifies that the kernel loads correctly, but no services are starting. After examining the bootloader logs, he suspects an issue with systemd. What would be the most appropriate first step to diagnose the problem? A. Reinstall the kernel using package manager. B. Boot into single user mode and check systeminstall logs. C. Run SCK on all mounted file systems. D. Recompile the bootloader using grub and config. Answer. Correct answer. B explanation. Booting into single user mode, Rescue Target allows minimal environment troubleshooting. Use System Tool or Journal Tool to inspect systemd issues. Reinstalling kernel A or bootloader D isn't relevant unless corrupted. SCK C is file system specific. Relevant topic Linux Essentials v.5. The system boot process and systeme. Question 12. Contrary to popular belief, compressing directories using gzip is not the optimal approach. Jacob, a data analyst, wants to compress project data into a single file using gzip, which is the best method. Gzip, our project data bzip, z data, gz project data c to cf data to gz project data dcp, our project data ge. Answer. Correct answer. C explanation to CZF combines archiving and compression using gzip. R is discouraged. gdip doesn't handle directories natively. Zip usage is limited in Linux environments. CP is for copying, not compressing. Relevant concept, archiving and compressing files. Linux Essentials v.5. Question 13. Throughout the course of his job, Ibrahim is asked to set up a cron job that runs a custom backup script every Sunday at 3 a.m. Which cron entry is correct? A. 03***7 home Ibrahim backup. B. 30000 home Ibrahim backup. C. 0037 home Ibrahim backup. D. 03**7 home Ibrahim backup. 8. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Cron format is minute, hour, day, month, weekday. Sunday equals 0 or 7. So 03**7 runs every Sunday at 3 a.m. Other options either reverse the fields or assign incorrect values. Relevant topic, process scheduling. Linux Essentials v.5. Question 14. Focusing specifically on open source careers, Alina is preparing for a DevOps role. She's told to contribute to FOSS project licensed under permissive license. She modifies module and reuses it in commercial application. What is her obligation? A. She must disclose her source code under any condition. B. She can reuse it freely without sharing changes. C. She must license her app under GPL. D. She must avoid any reuse unless approved by the Foundation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Permissive licenses. E. Gmit, BSD, Apache allow reuse without obligation to share modifications or use the same license, unlike copyleft licenses. E.D. GPL, so Alina can include it in a commercial product without disclosing code. Relevant topic, different types of software licenses. Linux Essentials v.5. Question 15. By evaluating basic command line operations, Ravi wants to count how many lines contain the word. We are in a system log. Which command should he use? A. grep varlogsyslog, or B. cat varlogsyslog, or C. grep varlogsyslog all the debris l varlogsyslog. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Grep searches the log for lines with or counts lines. Option A counts characters. B is invalid. D incorrectly UWE irrelevant concept. Basic command line operations. Linux Essentials of v.5. Question 16. As demonstrated by a recent training session Akira created, the file is root in EMP, but later regular users were unable to delete it. The file had full write access for everyone. Which special permission Leica caused this behavior? A. suid B. sticky bit C. sgid D. 777 permission. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The sticky bit on MP ensures only the file owner or root can delete files, even with write permissions. suid A affects executable ownership. sgid C impacts group inheritance. 777 D alone doesn't prevent deletion. Question 17. From a practical standpoint, Lisa created a directory work reports and wants new files in that directory to always inherit the group of the directory itself. What permission or attribute should she apply? A. suid B. 777C. sgid D. sticky bit. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The sgid bit on a directory ensures new files inherit the group ID of the directory, which is useful for collaborative environments. suid applies to files. A sticky bit protects deletion. Question 18. Looking at the data on disk partitioning, Sophia uses fdisk to create a new partition. However, it doesn't appear after listing with LFLK. What step is most likely missing? A. She didn't format the partition with file system. B. She forgot to label the disk with UID. C. She didn't add it to xstab. D. She mounted it read-only. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Creating a partition doesn't make it usable until it's formatted. E. G with ASK may not show it fully until valid file system is present. Labeling. B. In fstab. C. A post formatting. Read-only mount. D. Wouldn't prevent it from appearing. Question 19. Given the circumstances, Marcus wants to allow a user to run a script with root privileges. What's the most secure method to do this? A. Set the suid bit on the script. B. Add the user to the root group. C. Configure ruler in xUAS. D. UCH mod 777 on the script. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. The safest method is using sudo via xUAS, allowing control privilege elevation. suid A doesn't work reliably on scripts and poses risks. Adding to root. B is dangerous. 777 D exposes scripts to modification. Question 20. The impact of device management in Linux is highlighted when Elliot plugs in a new USB drive, but it doesn't mount automatically. Which component is most responsible for handling this behavior? A. Kernel modules. B. fstab. C. udiv rules. D. initd. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. udiv handles dynamic device detection and rules for automatic actions like mounting. Kernel modules A may support the hardware but not control behavior. fstab. B is for static mounts. initd. D runs during early boot. Question 21. When faced with troubleshooting a failed service, Ista Alam attempts to restart a system daemon on a Linux server. He uses the command system to restart Apache but receives an error. Unit apache.service not found. What is the most likely cause? A. The system is not using systemd. B. The Apache service is misnamed or not installed. C. The kernel has block HTTP ports. D. Permissions on xsystemd are incorrect. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The error message indicates that systemd can't locate apache.service, which often results from either Apache not being installed or incorrect service name. E. G. ATD on some distros. Systemd Sensei would give a different error. Kernel port blocking. C. Doesn't affect service discovery. Permissions. D. Would give different access errors. Question 22. The predominant theory suggests that certain Linux directories are designed for specific runtime functions. Rachel accidentally deletes vump while cleaning up disk space. What is the primary consequence of this action? A. The system won't boot. B. User login sessions will be lost. C. Applications may fail due to missing persistent temp data. D. Kernel panic will occur immediately. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. VAMP stores temporary files that persist across reboots. Deleting it can disrupt applications expecting cached data to remain. TMP is for short-lived temp files. It won't cause kernel panic. D. Or prevent boot. A. Relevant topic, special directories and files. Linux Essentials v.5. Question 23. Across different scenarios, Natalie often creates and deletes hundreds of short-lived files. What mount option can she use on her temporary file system to minimize disk wear and optimize performance? A. No time BRW. Defaults DEAMS. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Mounting as EAFS creates a RAM-backed file system ideal for temporary and volatile data, reducing disk wear and improving speed. No time 8 reduces metadata writes, but doesn't use wobbly defaults. B. C. Control redirect, but don't affect location. Question 24. As evidenced by system logs, Isaac suspects his Linux workstation is running out of file descriptors. What is the best way to inspect the number of open files by all processors? A. ls prastar fdb, psoc, grep fd, c, open files d, file, fproc. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Each process has a directory under proc ped fd containing symbolic links to open file descriptors. ls prastar fd shows them. ps b won't reveal ONFDS. Open files c isn't standard Linux tool. File d inspects file types, not open files. Question 25. In a modern context of networking, Olivia configures her Linux server to use a static IP, but notices it still receives a dynamic IP after a boot. Which configuration file is most likely overriding her changes? A. etchosts B. etchost name C. network interfaces or network manager profiles D. Exservices. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Linux network configuration tools like Network Manager or network interfaces can override manual static IP assignments. EAEP is enabled. etchosts maps host names. etchost name sets system name. Exservices defines well-known ports. Question 26. From a historical standpoint, the new project made a significant contribution to Linux by developing which of the following? A. The Linux kernel. B. Proprietary desktop environment. C. Most of the system utilities and libraries. D. The BIOS and boot firmware. Answer. Correct answer. C. The explanation. GNU developed the core utilities and libraries. E. G. Bash core utils glib that make Linux functional as an OS. The kernel was written by Linus Torvalds. GNU did not make firmware. D. Or proprietary UIs. B. Relevant topic. Major projects and significant companies. Linux Essentials v.5. Question 27. To determine whether a symbolic link points to a valid file, Andres runs ls lname and sees it in red with no such file there. What does this indicate? A. The link is pointing to broken file system. B. The original file was deleted, breaking the symlink. C. The link was encrypted. D. The file system is read only. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. A broken symbolic link occurs when the target file no longer exists. ls. L shows this with red coloring or air. It's not about encryption. C. Or read-only mounts. D. File system corruption. A. Would cause wider errors. Question 20. By comparing two file permission modes, GRM finds one file listed as arable and another unique behavior. Does the second file exhibit? A. It is immutable. B. It runs with the owner's privileges. C. It has a sticky bit set. D. It belongs to the root group. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The enable in a user permission position indicates SUID, meaning the file runs with the owner's privileges, not the executing user's. Sticky bit C appears in the execute field for others. Immutable A would show with Cheva. Plus I relevant topic. Special permissions. SUID SGID. Sticky bit. Linux Essentials for v.5. Question 29. Focusing specifically on finding files on the system, Mina wants to locate all conf files modified in the last 2 days. What is the most effective command? A. Find etc. start conf mtime -2b ls la etc star conf c grep start conf etc d search etc star conf modified. Answer. Correct answer. Explanation. Find etc. Name star conf mtime -2 finds conf files modified within the last 2 days. ls b shows file info but no search logic. grep c doesn't search file names. Search d isn't valid. Linux command relevant topic. Finding files on the system. Linux Essentials for v.5. Question 30. The effectiveness of text editors is central to productivity. Marcus wants to quickly edit a config file remotely or a SSHO minimal Linux system without a GUI. Which text editor is most likely to be available? A. Atom. B. Roman Sysr. LibreOffice. D. Nano GUI. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Roman or Vim are almost universally available even on minimal installations. Atom and LibreOffice. A. C. GUI apps Nano GUI D doesn't exist. Nano's CLI editor, beromancy or guaranteed to be pre-installed a relevant topic using text editors. Linux Essentials for v.5.